Hello, children. Today we'll be learning something that is new to you. You might not have learned it in the previous classes, not to the extent that you're going to learn in class 9. We will be learning literary devices, or you can say literary techniques that are used by poets, that are employed by poets in order to beautify their poems. In your poems, in the weeks to come, we will have many such devices being used in the poems that are being presented by the poets. So in order to learn better, I think it'll be good for you people to learn literary devices first. Now, literature refers to written creative work, particularly those which have a high and enduring value. It is known for its form in which the message is presented or communicated. Poetry and prose are the two common genres of literature, wherein prose is it's written work which contains sentences and paragraphs and does not have any metrical structure. Poetry is a genre of literature which is based on a particular form that creates a rhyme. The basic difference between prose and poetry is that in prose we have sentences and paragraphs, whereas lines and stanzas can be found in poetry. Further, there is regular writing in prose, but there is a unique style of writing in poetry. Students, we will be reading some poems in the coming week, but before I begin the poetry section, I want you all to learn these literary devices that are used in poetry. Now, this will enable you all to understand poetry in a better fashion. Literary devices are essential tools that a poet uses to create rhythm and enhance a poem's meaning or intensify a mood or feeling. Literary devices can be further subdivided. They can be divided into two types: literary elements and literary techniques. Literary elements are extensively employed by writers to develop a literary piece, whereas literary techniques, on the contrary, are words or phrases that the writers employ in order for the readers, or in order to enable the readers greater understanding and appreciation of their literary works. Now, some common literary techniques that are used by the poets are similes, metaphors, personification, assonance, enjambment, and many, many more. Today we will learn some of them. Let's begin with a simile. I think you must have learnt it in your previous classes also. Now, simile is when we make a comparison, or when a comparison is drawn between two different things by using as or like. For example, I give you a sentence: our soldiers are as brave as lions. So what are we doing here? We are comparing our soldiers with lions. Their bravery is, the common factor that is uniting these two different, you can say, beings is bravery. But how are we comparing it? By making use of as. Our soldiers are as brave as lions because lions are known for their bravery. So we are comparing our brave soldiers with lions by making use of as. Another sentence I would like to share here with you is: he is as funny as a monkey. Now, there might be a student in your class who behaves in a very funny manner, maybe naughty also. And Probably there might be a teacher who says, oh my God, this boy is really naughty. He's as naughty or he's as funny as a monkey. So here also, the person is making use of a simile because he or she is drawing comparison between that child and the monkey, and because a monkey is known as a very funny creature or as a naughty creature, that's why when we are comparing somebody, here we pick up the trait of the thing that is well known. Say for example, she is as white as snow, because we know that snow is always white. So that's an attribute. So if we are comparing somebody who's very fair, and if we want to say that the person's very, very fair, is a very fair complexion person. So what do we say? She is as white as snow. Okay, the next one that we're going to learn, the next literary device that we're going to learn is a metaphor. Now, a metaphor is an indirect comparison by highlighting a particular quality of two things. Like in this particular poetry device, we are highlighting a particular attribute, characteristic of a person or a thing, but without making use of as or like. For example, Shakespeare, the well-known dramatist, writer, poet, had written a poem, All the World's a Stage. All the world is a stage. So here, the poet has made use of metaphor, because there is no usage of as or like in this particular line, in the sentence, right? But a comparison is made. The world is compared to a stage. So that's why when we make use of comparison, when we are comparing two things, but we do not make use of as or like in that, then it becomes a metaphor. But when we make use of as and like, then it becomes a simile. So this is the difference between a simile and a metaphor.